stable player, but you push him to an offlane, you push him into a bad situation, maybe that's the way to do it. Do you then disrupt what Faceless have been playing with and winning with so far?
It wasn't the lane, it was mostly the Chen. And I'm not sure if OG have played Chen recently at all. So, I don't know. Again, I think it's mostly the support play. If the support can come in and ruin No-Tail's lane, then that would be it.
It looks like OG is going to try to do what we said was basically impossible, ban out Ice to start with the Timber Saw. And this is all back to the question, is Pudge going to still be in the pool at the end of this banning phase?
They might pick Pudge themselves.
Yeah.
They have first pick, and Jarex has played a phenomenal Pudge as well.
He's played a lot of Pudge. Maybe that's when OG can look for something safer. Like when this OG team first formed, they used to run this Pudge-Naga combination, where they gave Pudge a lot of farm in the lane, and Naga just played catch-up. Obviously, we're in a very different kind of meta now, but it's still one of those things where they always make sure that Jarex gets enough levels and priority without having to manipulate lane pulls.
Earth Spirit's way more important, I think, though. Earth Spirit and Pudge are probably the tier supports, I think, in this game that are actually contested by both teams.
That Nyx ban, that instantly just flags the Ember Spirit for me in the early phase too.
Definitely. The Faceless, what do you want to go with? The Luna ban, the Ember ban? Both are... Probably Ember ban, I would say, is more justified.
Yeah.
Or you ban out neither so that you can have the chance to pick both up?
I think they would just take Ember and give away Luna, and then deal with the Luna.
As long as you feel like you got enough against it. They actually banned the Earth Spirit themselves.
All right.
They won't let Jirax have that. And rightly so. He could have caused absolute chaos in all of their lanes. And that would be that weakness with jabs in the mid. But then it's OG's choice. So, yep, Nyx was banned. Ember Spirit first pick up from them. And we'll see if Faceless do consider going in for the Pudge.
It's tough for Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit finds his way out of the Pudge. But Ember come up very easily.
But if Pudge changes the landing phase, then he's still going to be that use that you're looking for. Like he's still going to enable Ice to get more out of the lane.
Well, they're considering picking up the Luna and the Pudge, perhaps. And there it is. Okay, that will be the Black Pudge. And this does, as we saw in the game they played against Evil Geniuses, it changes up their roles slightly. And will that have how much of an effect will that have?
I think it's a big deal. I think Faceless actually play a lot better when Black's not farming, just because this is not a farming patch.
So it's a good change.
I think it's good. I think that's why they had a lot of success with the Pudge, because they actually have heroes running around doing something aside from hitting creeps.
Yeah, they had XY playing Weaver in that particular game, as we'll see Jabs Jabs Tinker come out.
I wasn't really expecting them to first phase it, even though like you would expect OG to ban it in the second phase.
Yeah. Well, the Nyx is already banned too, so that makes things a little bit more difficult for OG if they want to look for counters against the Tinker. And mid lane is a lane to kind of think about right now. There's no Luna, so you're not going to be really based around pushing right now. Also, Tinker's very good versus Luna and Terrorblade. I would say a little bit better versus the Terrorblade, but those are the common pickups that No-Tail has because of the Ag's refraction against the Mass Illusions. It's incredibly difficult to push against that.
So, no Luna. Because if you pick up Luna for OG, that means that they're going to have Ember versus Tinker, and that's not great.
I think you can just wait it out. I think you can play a little bit faster. Maybe go for a Clockwork, I would say, kind of early to deal with the Tinker. I think you need to find solutions to deal with the Tinker. Storm Spirit, Nyx, Clockwork are, I think, the top three. And Nyx is already banned out. Storm Spirit, not particularly strong this patch because of the root, and Clockwork, I think, is one of the premier ones. Like, what other heroes are there for S4? We've seen Bat, we've seen Slardar, LC. I think that Slardar is decent if they want to play a faster pace.
So you would put Slardar on the offlane rather than having Jarex play?
It depends on how well they can deal with the Tinker. If they think they can deal with him with early roam and a strong mid laner, then that's good too, slowing him down so that you don't actually have to worry about him in the mid game. So I'm not particularly sure how they're going to go for it though.
Yeah, and that's actually probably the nice upside as well. By putting Slardar into this second pickup, you keep Faceless guessing slightly about what you're doing. If you did end up picking up the Clockwork, you're revealing two of your calls straight away, and this is going to allow Faceless to sort of counter-pick you a little bit harder, because if you get the Clockwork pickup, then, you know, OG's going to have to commit to bans like against heroes like Rubik and such.
I think they need to ban out Lifestealer, Faceless do. They're already banning out, like Juggernaut, you just spin out of the hook very easy. Like, you need as many kill targets as possible with the Pudge.
Would you ban him over someone like the Darkseer as well, who synergizes synergizes perfectly with the Ember and actually activates the Slider a little bit, so you can actually run that duel off.
I personally would definitely ban the Lifestealer. I think it's a good hero at just killing the Pudge and the Tinker constantly.
Well, for now, at least on OG side, they're continuing banning out Ice, with the Underlord removed from the pool. And speaking of, which other heroes will we see Ice play? Is there any specific hero that would pair up really nice with the heroes that Faceless has so far? We have seen him play Centaur earlier on today.
Centaur's definitely going to be the first one on the lips, mainly just because Centaur's just so good at disengaging when Faces are in bad positions and negating a large portion of the damage. So you're getting blinded and you've got the negation of damage. It can be very difficult for OG to find kills, and that allows Faces to reposition. Then they can fight under March, then they can fight with a better position of a hook, things along this line. But normally they have more information on their controlling supports as well this early on, and we don't have that yet. So I'm not certain if he wants to go down that road.
Yeah, good call on the Darkseer ban. They don't want to play against that combination. It's just too scary.
Didn't you say that? Or was that you?
That was me.
It was Tobes.
I just assume that nothing good never comes out of Toby's mouth.
Wow.
Thanks, Merlini. Thanks. But all this wonderful bonding time that we've had here at Dota Pit, and obviously it's fine.
And this is where
you know what you're talking about.
Unless I'm Danish, you just don't want me.
I just like blaming you occasionally.
Yeah, that's fine. I can take it like a man.
Keeps our relationship spicy.
Yeah, like a hot sauce.
I do like my hot sauce.
All right, back to the draft. We do have the Centaur removed from Ice's pool. It seems to be the hero, or the player rather, that's being targeted.
He's still doing Magnus, right?
Magnus, he has played a lot of Magnus as well.
It's a little bit different in this game though, because you're not running with like the heavy melee buff ups for it. The fact that Luna is still in the pool, if you ran that in a 1 position, and then you had the Magnus as well, like that was another little bit of a synergy you'd get. But with the Tinker, I got a feeling they'll walk away from the Magnus and they'll focus more on the big playmaker for Ice. But who's it going to still be? Like the Timber's being banned out. Almost every single ban from OGs have been against Ice.
Tidehunter, I also think is pretty good. I think you need a hero to protect the Tinker. Like right now, like there's no good like AoE way to stop them from just killing the Tinker right now.
Problem is though, a Tidehunter is not a killer.
Okay.
Would you put Sand King in that list as well, perhaps?
Sand King is alright, but I think they can just jump the Sand King. Like Tidehunters, I hear that you just don't really want to jump on, especially with those two. I don't know. Kind of just feeling out for what other heroes Ice plays.
Well, we have another Nuts Rubik being picked up here. We have seen it a couple of times already earlier this tournament.
It's just such great control.
Yeah, they've won with it every single time.
Really? It's 100%? That's
because
good.
The only reason I know this is because Evil Geniuses banned it out every single time. And since they faced Evil Geniuses, they haven't dropped a single game, otherwise they wouldn't be here. And the lower bracket finals, best of ones. What a ruthless thing that is.
OG. This is one of those things that I would say there's very few teams playing this. Crystal Maiden is just one of those things which Fly always like to go back into. This doesn't have a lot of experience playing against the Crystal Maiden in this patch. They actually played in a tournament down in Thailand, and Crystal Maiden was one of the most picked up support heroes there. So they got a lot of experience. In fact, they tried it themselves. They tried running a Crystal Maiden Zeus combination for a while.
That's pretty nice.
It actually wasn't too bad with the plus two regen of mana you get from the Zeus, and then the Crystal Maiden buff up as well. It was actually a really fast progression for the Zeus, but I don't know if OG is going to attempt such a thing. I
love the root now from Frostbite.
Yeah, it's so much more powerful.
Yeah. So that we'll see if that has any effect on Faces' draft. They pick up the Slark again. We saw Black have Slark earlier, and
this throws a question mark on that too.
This makes Crystal Maiden's life miserable.
That is true. That is true. But we have seen, well, I was going to say Black with different results on Slark, but I'm going to assume Black is going to play Pudge. So it will be X.
I would lean the other way now. I actually think this would actually be Black onto Slark. He's just got so much experience with the Slark. You don't want to throw him away from that. And the Pudge, having experience with hooks and rotations and timing like that is not that hard. But if they achieve what they want to, which is hook a creep which is standing still, it's not rocket science.
You'd think that. Yet if you go into some pubs, no. We have Ogre Medja picked up by OG, and not a squishy support, so that is not something that Slark can easily pick up. And it does reveal that Slardar will be played by S4.
This makes it a little bit more difficult for the mid for Tinker. They need someone who's really able to help out. When you've got both a Rubik and a Pudge, like, unless you're going to commit the Pudge to go into the lane and like stop Ogre from zoning out the Tinker's just going to have to be slightly sacrificed early on.
I think they'll just dump Ember mid though.
But yeah, there's like two of them together.
Oh yeah,
at the start.
True that.
Naga Siren removed from the pool. I mean, no, as far as no-tails heroes go, if you are banning out the Naga, would you also be worried about a Terrorblade?
Terrorblade, I think they already have the Tinker to deal with.
Tinker is fantastic against like mass illusion heroes once he has the Aghanim Scepter.
So why ban out the Naga at all then?
The Naga is going to be a real problem for Faceless just because of the teamfight reset. Faceless, when they run in with the Slark, it's all about getting that instant kill, and Tinker's not going to have BKB. Slark will probably prefer not having a BKB in this game. And they probably just want to get that quick kill with no easy escape for OG to reset.
I really like how, you know, we started the whole discussion of this matchup saying like, can you ban out Ice Ice Heroes? No, you can't.
The ultimate thing would actually be if Ice Ice Heroes was the first one, if it was actually the Pudge is Ice Ice's hero, and now they get the secondary support with a really great control of the anti-mage, and they're going to flag a hero which Fogged wanted to actually see, which is the Skywrath Mage, with the amount of damage you get from him. So I'm just wondering if they even try a combination like that, so you got really good synergy and actually destroys most of the heroes in OG.
That would be the ultimate mind game. That would basically mean that OG has wasted 5 bans against Ice.
The ultimate. Yeah, okay, they're already on tilt after EG, and then like, it's like, okay, well that was actually Ice from the very beginning.
That would be fun. We'll find out though very soon as the time is ticking down. We have got a lot of time left for bonus time. You say as the time, oh there we go. It's a little bit of a wonky clock here because every time Dyer has first pick, the timers are reversed or the arrows are the other way around.
Volvo, please.
Yeah, so, well, we'll make do. We see the 1 minute and 15 seconds ticking
It's
down.
fun to see Animage. Like, we've had a lot of new heroes today for Dota Pit just being picked up, and having that Animage just slot in. I'm wondering if he's really going to be that hero. Like, you can find a lot of space for all these heroes, but it almost looks like OG is willing to let Faceless rotate early and in fact be the ones to dictate the pace of the game.
Possibly.
Because like, where's the combination? You're looking for lifesteal. He was in the pool all the way to the very end. That's that combination with the Slaughter, who's going to have a quick timing on the Blink Dagger.
I think they just don't want to lose out on the late game. They also... I don't know. I still would have preferred a little bit, but maybe they wanted a hero that deals better with the Slark. So
I don't know what to think of this draft. Is this going to be an Ice Morph?
I think I actually like the offlane side support Morph a lot versus the anti-mage. They don't have a good way to kill the Replicate right now.
Okay.
And also he has a super long duration stun against Ember and anti-mage. That is great.
How does actually work with the lane? I like Morphling versus Slana. I was like, it's not even one-on-one. It's more than that with Rubik and Morphling. That's...
Is there any draft you particularly favor, even without seeing the lanes? I mean, I love the funkiness of Face's draft. They seem like they have a plan.
Yeah, I think Anti-Mage Scepter might be pretty good here too. It'll reflect the Morphling stun and the Pudge Dismember, all pretty good.
But that means that it's going to be a long game.
I think no matter what happens with this game, we're gonna have a long game.
We have a Tinker and an Anti-Mage.
yeah. This is gonna take a while. It's gonna be a lot of split pushing. We're probably gonna encroach on the hour mark on this one. But yeah, I'm personally leaning towards Faceless. I think they're gonna have a lot better early game in this one. And I think OG, while they're greedy and they're gonna look for a lot of space, Faceless are gonna be up in their face and have a real good time.
I'll trust you, my friend Toby. I'll also go with Faceless. You're always right.
I am never always right. That is a lie, a bold-faced lie.
It would be the ultimate story here because, I mean, Black in his interview already has said, you know, nobody is a favorite here. Everybody can beat everybody, and if Faceless does it here in a lower bracket run like this, that would be quite amazing to witness. We do have a bit of a pause at the start of the game, so soon we'll jump into that game. I mean, I want to hear from you guys if you think that Morphling is going to be which lane exactly?
Well, we actually see it now. So it's Morphling Ice.
Oh, I couldn't
so
see
he's going to be the core offlaner,
Okay.
and Black is still playing the support. So he's not actually going to be playing on the Slark.
You can't ban out. Ice, ice, ice.
You can't ban out Ice, Ice, Ice. It's just, I mean, OG tried. Maybe, hey, maybe they win and it's like, you know, we ban out Ice, Ice, we win the game and it's all gonna be good.
Ice has got all these heroes.
Yeah. Before we hop into the game, guys, make sure to check out g2a.com/DotaPit. You have a chance to win Dota 2 cosmetics as well as hardware, and I mean CPUs, graphics cards, so go check that out. It is worth it. And as far as predictions go, I believe someone looked up the accuracy of Black in the game against EG. It wasn't really high. It was like 40-something%.
Does that include like creeps?
Yeah, that includes every hook. That's like a statistic that you can look up in the game.
Accuracy means nothing. Remember, like the wise words of Dendi?
You miss every hook that you don't hook.
Throw.
Close enough.
Nice.
Close enough.
Yes, Dendi, we remember you exactly.
Earlier on in when we were talking about the draft, you talked about heroes that have easy positioning to hook and can't really get away. Is this a draft where you feel like Black is going to be able to get a lot of good hooks?
I think he's got a lot to work with. Like, also his prediction as well to check where that animate is going to go. Slider Custom Maiden is very low movement speed, so once you start getting more range on that hook, there's a lot more you can go for. And Crystal Maiden, when she gets hooked, she's dead. Like, heroes like Ogre, maybe not so much, but it's the repositioning you have and the extra control, and that's where you have like Black Hook and then Rubik control, Slark for pounce kind of thing.
What fight in a March?
Yeah, all that kind of jazz. Like before, you'd say it was the mid invoker, right? Like you drop down the Sunstrike onto the hook, and you could always get that kind of attack off. But now when you add like a Tinker, if you can even be remotely close, if you get that early Dominator up, and maybe that's also something we look to see too, is like Morphling's position of his Dominated creep, if that's what the build he goes for. Then he can actually have Tinker with a TP port, which can just follow Black around, get the initiation, get the quick kill, and you bring a lot more burst damage when you have a Tinker TPing in than just a max level Sunstrike.
I mean, speaking of the Tinker, he's going up against an Ember Spirit. Ben, that mid lane, how should that pan out on paper?
Pretty easy for Tinker, I would say.
Yeah, does Anna need some rotations then, I would imagine?
I think that Tinker will just come ahead a little bit slightly in terms of CS, but they have the Ogre factor, always disrupts that lane matchup.
And Crystal Maiden also gives you a little bit of a balance in the money too, because she'll be able to just like disappear into the jungle as long as you got some walls to protect it from Pudge.
And you have CMR actually, so it makes Ember's lane a lot easier. He has two good supports to help him potentially win that mid lane.
Yeah, shouldn't you always want to try and shut down the Tinker? Because shouldn't you always want to shut down the Tinker? Because Tinker is like one of those heroes that, you know, you can't ever stop him, but you can delay him, and delaying is kind of winning against Tinker.
Yeah, they can throw some heroes over there. I don't know. Rubik's one of those heroes that's like really good at protecting a mid though.
Yeah, especially like with the initiation you're looking for, like, okay, Crystal Maiden, walk at Tinker, good luck. Slider, once he has the Blink Dagger, then you probably have more to work with, but that's when Vision's going to come up. So until that point, like the early game is just going to be very much farm, control, try and get as much as you can out of the lanes, and then just wait for that nice little power spike. And the Ember Spirit will be able to deal with the Tinker. The issue I think that OG is going to have going into the later portion of the game is AM as well as Ember's going to be pretty good for push and control, but you're still going up against a Morphling and a Tinker, two of the best split pushes in the game, and very difficult to catch out.
Yeah, so you want to get that early advantage if you can.
If possible.
If possible. Rubik at least has a bit of maybe a tougher job. You mentioned that he's going to be helping out mid, perhaps, helping the Tinker a little bit, but at the same time, he's going to have to help the Slark a bit as well. And Pudge is not going to be there because he's going to be everywhere on the map, hopefully, for Faceless, doing what we saw that Black can do on that Pudge, but how is Rubik going to divide his time?
Carry a TP scroll.
Carry a TP scroll. It's very cheap now.
That's the hard thing. Like, he only has to come down there once to help out the Slark. Because the Slark's just going to go head-to-head. He's not going to care about the haze that's going to be thrown out by Slaughter. And all he needs to do is just have one leash and a little bit more time to hit him. And if they do have that kind of man fight, the Essence Shift is still going to tip the balance in favor of Slark, and then Ruby's just going to rock up at the right time. And that's pretty much a kill. And it's the same thing with the Pudge. That's why I'm interested to see just how well S4 can do on the offlane with the Pudge. Because normally when he plays like one of the big melee offlaners, he's got things like Firefly Sticky Napalm to work with. Like, you got this little bit of like a chance for a kill or a chance for escape. He's got the Clockwork Cog, so he can at least zone out the safe laner. But in this game, he doesn't really have any of that.
He can run really fast.
Yes, he can.
He's got sprint.
And then he can take even more damage.
Well, if he gets hooks at least. You know, if you're running really fast, you should be able to dodge a hook.
You want to give them an update as to what's going on? Because Everyone's waiting for the game.
What's going on is that we still don't have a game. We are paused. We are waiting for Tinker to reconnect in. I just got word that it will take a few minutes, but that was about a minute ago. So we are changing a monitor out on Jabs' PC. So
Communication is key.
that is what's happening.
It's a Tinker, right? I thought it was just really easy, like TP to mid lane. I didn't even see where I go. Just spam rocket, spam march, and I'm all good.
And that's why
4K.
you are in. I mean, it was a too easy one. So.
It was. I had to finish that myself.
I'm really excited to see Faceless fight here because I kind of like their draft and I feel like they can definitely do this. How exciting would it be to see Faceless against EG again? Remember the series that we started with on Friday? That was an exciting series.
There's no doubt about it. I actually even thought in game one that, oh, okay, EG, you're going to have a very short trip in this tournament and actually have to take the road that Faceless took. But yeah, at the end of the day, like Faceless, they keep showing these great moments where they have a great comeback moment.
Yes.
Like you have like this terrible early game, and if they actually have a really good early game, it's like, well, okay, Faceless are like #1 team in the world kind of style. Like they've just crushed so heavily, and that's the kind of thing which is possible to have happen. That's why I think like out of all the teams that OG had to face in this lower bracket, they may have preferred to go up against the more predictable Invictus Gaming as opposed to going up against someone like Faceless.
Okay, well, I just got word that the commentators are ready for this lower bracket finals. It is over to Kotogai and Fogged for our game between OG and Team Faceless.
Thank you so much, Sheever. Here, of course, courtside, if you will, with my good buddy Fogged, as we are awaiting the start of our lower bracket final best-of-1 matchup. Team Faceless going against our 3-time major champions OG. It looks like we got a new monitor in, and Jabs is ready to go,
Let's
Fogged.
go.
Now, the panel favoring a little bit towards the way of Team Faceless on this one.
This
Thanks
is
to your
important right
unit
here.
draft. Okay.
Don't mean to interrupt you, but I really wanted to see what OG does to make sure that they block the pull. I think it's really important that they block the hook pull that's going to be trying, because Morphling is really unable to get levels if he doesn't have somebody pulling his lane back. So we do see Jerax right away smoking, going for that attempt to block the potential, the pudge pull from the side to the off lane. And this already looks like it's going to be a first blood on Jerax. We do have the Crystal Maiden in the area, but they're getting the body block going. Black wants to save his skill point. He's going to go for the rod, though, to go for the first blood. And yeah, this will be Jerax paying with his life. I think it's really important, though, that they do block that, but now he doesn't have the hook to be able to pull it, so it's really important that they do that. So I think Morphling will suffer a bit to get experienced in that loft lane.
Will earn Faceless the first blood, but you're right. It's obvious from both teams that is a very critical moment at the start of this one. And we'll have to see how much of an impact that will have moving forward here, and if Black is still going to be able to rush his way towards that level 2 and get the hook going. So he might be able to try to go for a repeat performance of what we saw in their debut matchup against EG. But it does look like things are going to begin unfolding here. Jerax back in action as he goes side by side with Ana. No surprise to see S4 down there at the bottom. Fly going to be joining up, babysitting side by side with Buddy No Tail on the AM. Over on the other side, Ice. No surprise. Hanging with Jabs nearby, preparing for the off-lane setup. Black on the punch down below. We got, of course, XY here. Swapping the roles a bit, taking the Slark away. And Nuts. Going to be our final guy right here on the Rubik. So, should be a doozy. I'm looking forward to it. Who do you think has the more valuable early game?
I mean, OG, I'd have to say. I think it's going to be a little bit tough just for the Morphling to get any experience, and the one thing is that Jabs does have a very favorable matchup in the mid lane, so we'll see how it plays out. What Jerax wants to do with his movements. I think it's going to be really important to dictate the early game with the Ogre Magi.
Jabs and Ana both have received little bits of criticism here and there based on their early game mid lane performance right now. So how they match up against each other, looking to kind of get the upper edge. And as you mentioned, on paper, the Tinker should have a little bit of leverage here. Base up top a bit. Fly trying his best to zone back Ice, but, how often do you have the know-how on how to take on an off-lane Morphling? That doesn't seem like something you scrim and practice and compete against very often.
Yeah, I think No Tail should just walk up and mana break him a bunch. Yeah, and he's doing that right now. Try to force him waveform, to put him on the defensive as much as possible, and we'll see the waveform coming out very shortly from Ice. Yeah, he just runs to the side, trying not to waste his mana.
So I'm curious about how he's going to be looking to item progress here. I mean, he already has the extra
Bottom
bit of
lane,
armor, but
lots
yeah,
of pressure already coming on XY.
Lift.
JerAx body blocking, body blocking, body blocking.
Needs to get closer if he wants to get the crush, but not going to be able to get it. So XY backs off, but lots of pressure on the Slark already. Black's around now, but obviously still needs a bit more time if he wants to get that hook online.
You can see they're going for a type of priority thing. Rather than going for the safe lane, tri lane to completely shut down the Morphling, they'd rather emphasize on hurting XY and forcing the supports to stay bottom so that they can't roam freely and cause a lot of pressure onto Ana, because it's already a pretty hard matchup for the Emperor versus Tinker in their early few levels. Nice level 2, waiting for the bounty rune. Almost getting on his way toward level 3. Wouldn't be too surprised if we see Black make his way up there eventually to go for those type of hook plays to just guarantee him farm. Mid lane, Ana almost goes down, but Jabs almost dies 2 to the chains. Rocket comes out, should be fine. Flame guard and a regen rune.
How convenient. The Mighty Frog has blessed us on this day, at least if you're an OG fan. Be able to snag up that regen and walk away a happier man. Nearby Ice. It's very obvious going to be moving into the Tranquils. We know Morphling to be lacking quite a bit in the armor department. But for your supportling, you know, I'm used to seeing a lot of getting the early Soul Ring. And then, you know, it's been all over the place trying to utilize that, you know, ridiculous stun power. Some have gone for even a Blink Dagger to get the instant initiation. Bottom lane, though, we might have to pay a little bit of focus here. They get the Pounce connection onto S4. Lift, pull back. Rot's on out. Has to commit with the crush. JerAx looking to step in. They need a bit more damage on S4. Not going to be able to get it.
JerAx is going to die
They move back, though, for JerAx, and he's going to be one to tank the gank instead. Ooh, big Nova Blast. Not enough to get the down to Black, as a rotation also comes out from Fly, but it is going to be Faceless who claim another.
Yeah. Full Essence shift stacks just giving XY more than enough damage to be able to bring down JerAx as well. The 2 kills already going for Faceless.
Yep.
And they do get a bit of space for the Morphling, but now JerAx making another rotation.
He's walking there. Morphling has no mana to waveform out. There goes the Ignite.
He goes for the cheeky tree drop. He tries to block the anti-mage from going through.
This little play will send him off a bit, but he has a couple of regen, but it looks like he'll take his business all the way back to the fountain in the meantime here. Touching base on mid lane a little bit here. Just a slight advantage for Jabs as we see the lasers continue to come out. On is going to have to continue to chew through that bottle just to kind of hold himself in the lane.
Jabs holding on to his 4th skill point, deciding if he wants to go for the 2 points and missile for the kill, or if he wants to just get ready to go for that March build to have himself that farm potential into the later stages. Top lane, here we go. Black's going for now.
Yes, he
Looks
is.
like he wants to do the pulls, more than likely, just to make sure his Morphling gets more farm, because Ice is getting levels, but he's not getting any last hits really in this top lane.
Yeah, so the assistance will come here in the form of Black's pull.
Yep.
Soon enough.
Ana getting pressured by Jabs. Jabs walking up the hill, trying to go for a solo kill. He skills 2 levels in rockets. Will he get the laser?
He stepped back.
Will he get the laser? It's going to be really close.
Get it. He's got around the bend.
Gets fogged again, and now JerAx is here for the rotation. Jabs in a very unfortunate situation. He is going to die for sure.
That mild step back, unfortunately. He'll try to go through the fairy fire. Step back again, gets the laser regardless, right into the face of Ana. He'll say worth. JerAx will take the last hit on that one, but bottom lane also. Takedown of S4. Pounce connection with Nuts assistance is going to be good enough to get that. 2 kills across the board for Faceless in exchange for the 1.
Nice, you got both of those. That's good stuff. And he gets, I don't know, Ana stepping a little bit too far up, getting caught out by the burst potential of the laser. I think Jabs is pretty happy with that one. Yeah. Because he committed really far. He's like, I'm in. Kill at least for himself. Nuts and Black. Looks like they're pairing up, going for maybe a smoke potential. Or Black just kind of wants to go for it himself. He thinks maybe he could do it without having to waste the smoke.
Needs to get a bit closer. It's still just a level 2 hook. But obviously, OG not going to be the wiser to really know exactly the rotation power of Faceless. There is a ward nearby, but I don't know if it saw them in the area. So looks like Ana is going to be taking back it into the jungle. Leaves Jabs to his own devices in the lane. That'll be nice for him. Well, JerAx now taking his business back to the bottom in order to help out S4 a bit. I mean, how critical is it going to be that they get this S4 Blink Dagger online?
Definitely very important for their lineup, because Ember and Anti-Mage takes time to get online, so you need to be able to make space S4 around him. So you can see that's exactly what they're doing. AM versus Morphling, the AM is not going to get pressured really by this Morph, since he had a big advantage coming out. So they're emphasizing a lot on S4, just showing how important it is. But S4 is doing great, 25-11. He has died once, but I think that's okay, one of the deaths.
Now, is there any way for Faceless to kind of play around the fact that they can expect this AM to be in total farm mode? Do we see Faceless trying to pose as many 5 versus 4 opportunities as possible?
they can, yeah, that more than likely. I think the pulling thing from Black is really important. They're going to get so many levels on ice that he's going to have that high level stun, that 4.25 max stun duration, which will be pretty massive. First ward from OG in the mid lane. I think this indicates that they are smoked around the area. They placed it and nobody was showing, so now Jab's able to get a free D ward for himself.
Very nice.
Sly probably wants to try to deny, or they're going to go for the kill here.
Ana running the corner here.
Ace rune.
He's got the bloodlust to kind of get him there even faster. He dishes out the laser to help mitigate it a bit, but he needs a bit more assistance. The rotations are coming. It's going to be Black on the scene.
Oh, he gets the hook too on the haste.
The hook pull back onto Ana, and OG got to get the hell out. Ana will be able to make it back away. Jarek's looking to go for the TP, but there's a lift, and there's a kill. Again for Faceless, 5-1. Off they go just before 7 minutes in.
Jabs with getting that laser off onto Ana, unable to get him with any damage. He burns the whole flame guard and also the mischance from the lasers, making him survive. And Ice attaching the poles that Black did for him earlier. A fly.
It's close.
Gets spotted.
But they pop the shrine here.
They might be aware that there's a ward on that high ground too now.
So Ice saving up for the Soul Ring. I mean, the downside of going, with the support link build, especially when you waveform costs a ridiculous amount of mana, is being able to have that extra bit of juice to work with. So you can get off more than just one combo from time to time.
Yeah, usually we see with a Soul Ring into like the Yule Scepter, so you're able to just have your mana regen as well as get multiple different stuns out.
Ana's got to be careful. Goes for the Remnant laser. Oh my goodness! God. He gets it before he can make it away. Oh, it's a struggle for Ana in the mid lane. Jabs picks up another.
Those are some mistakes that you can't make at this.
Don't want to be trying to peer into the psychological game of OG, but how much of an implication was the EG matchup earlier? Seem to be trying to find their groove, but it's taking a bit of effort here. But they still have No Tail grinding away in the farm, second in net worth right now.
Man, those deaths really hurt OG.
Yeah,
the Boots of Travel are pretty much online now from Jabs. So he's going to be able to join the fray, and like we said, they do want to be able to outnumber OG.
Ana's got to be careful, man. There is a rotation coming in. Black could be there. Nuts looking to step aside. Does he go for the Hail Mary? No. And Ana's going to be forced out of the lane.
Jesus.
Lots of pressure
Ana,
here.
you're scaring me here.
Faceless just not looking to let up yet.
Yeah, Boots of Travel coming out online for Jabs already. 8 minutes 40 seconds. Very good for a Tinker. More than what you'd want. More than the ideal. Top lane, they get the big stun onto the anti-mage. Once Black is 6, they're actually very easy to get the setups onto No-Tail with the long duration stun from the Morphling.
And I believe even at the level 3, yeah, you could definitely even do a fair amount of work there. Another pull
again,
for Black.
Just constantly doing it, abusing this.
There's just nothing OG can do about it. Every time they've kind of tried to flirt in the area, OG have been there as a response, and it's only costed OG.
And this offlane pulse seems just way too strong.
Enjoy it while you can, Black. And he totally is. Level 6 will be online for him soon, and he'll have that Dismember for the extra bit of lockdown within his team.
Yeah, level 7 coming out from the Morphling already. Max stun, going for the Aether Lens build for the maximum range on that type of adaptive strike potential, rather than going for the Yule Scepter that we used to see.
But just sticking to strict farming here for OG, in particular between the AM and S4 down here. 1,600 gold, inching closer and closer to trying to get a hold of that Blink Dagger.
Purge creep from No-Tail. Looks like he's trying to go for a little bit of a cheeky play onto Jabs with the Dominator build up, but some TP reaction coming out from Ice. And back to farming from No-Tail. So he's going for the Dominator build that we've been seeing more common, just so you can get involved rather than going for that old school Battle Fury build. Just Treads Dominator meta.
We didn't mention this for the items for Ice. Aether Lens. Oh, remember that came into play. Even longer distance stun, longer distance waveform.
Yep.
That's in the mana department, of course.
Not sure I like that one too much. I think the Yule Scepter's a little bit better versus Ember too, because you can just remove the Flame Guard, he comes down, you stun him as well. And it's very good versus Slardar. Bottom lane, speaking of Slardar, getting gone on by XY, and it looks like S4 might pay with his life, but Jabs actually crush. Does Jabs cancel his TP? I think he did cancel his TP onto the creeps, expecting his team to clean him up without him, so.
Well, whatever the case may be, S4 is going to be able to back it away. That could have been devastating to him, prolonging that Blink Dagger even further, but he will be able to walk away with his life. But look at this, Ana and Jarek's getting in on some action here. Smoke and rotate all the way to the bottom. But
they need to involve Ana somehow. He can't even go near the mid lane.
Uh-oh.
Looks like Nuts will be the culprit, but he moves away quickly. Remnant committed. Ana gets lifted instantly, though.
And a rotation's going to be coming in. They already have the Slark there. There's going to be the Crush. They're going to get the 1 kill. Jab shows up as well. This is out the march. Swinging a miss on the hook coming in from Black. Ana, Remnant, jump over. Jabs could be set to go down, but they can't get the finish yet. There, they'll get it done. Ana will still lose his own life. But it is going to be a 2-for-1 trade. One of the first favorable trades, it looks like, for OG. But as I say that, it is going to be XY who cleans up Little Fly on the back end of it, making it a nice, even trade.
How's S4 doing? Very close to that Blink Dagger now after that kill. 100 gold. We'll have it right after this camp, and then they can start making some easier aggressive plays where Ana doesn't have to kind of commit his life. Now Ana 2 and 3 already in the mid lane, only 36 CS as well, so he's having a very struggle time. They really need to make sure that he gets the last hits on some of these kills upcoming whenever they do go for these plays, because he is suffering, to say the least. The good thing is, though, they're making a lot of space for No-Tail, so he's able to just kind of free farm with this build that he went for, too.
Yeah, and looks like he'll go right for that farming and the Battle Fury, kind of a build-up right now. Not too much threat going to be there, but we're going to be looking at that stunning Morphling coming out here soon enough, and I would imagine Faceless are going to be looking to take it to the fight. But as I say that, we had just mentioned S4's got his Blink Dagger. Are they going to be looking to get No-Tail involved with this Blink Dagger and with this fighting? I mean, are they going to have enough damage without No-Tail being there is the thing? Because Ana had been, hit pretty hard in the early game.
I think probably taking the tier 1 bottom is good, because then you can open up the map to yourself to get some wards into the enemy jungle, so you can kind of scout what the Slark is doing, because he doesn't have a Shadow Blade just because of how much pressure they put on him in the laning phase. So being able to just like watch how his farm is going and watch where the Pudge is moving is really important. So I think the bottom tower is probably the most important. Just leave No-Tail to kind of do his own thing for now. And speaking of double, here we go. No-Tail going on the top lane.
Oh,
Jabs
there it is.
trouble.
The Void cancels out, and now Jabs is going to be on the run. Hits him with a rocket. A lot of good damage on a No-Tail will actually force him back, and he will not be able to pursue.
See what he did there, actually? So he gets lasered, so Jabs kind of thinks that he can think, and he purges the laser miss straight off instantly, so he's able to get a couple extra hits onto Jabs, the unexpected purge creep.
Nice little heads-up play there from No-Tail, making the most out of this little guy.
Smoke versus smoke.
Mid lane, they clash. It is going to be the Crush coming up from S4, followed with the Nova, followed up with the ulti, and it's going to be a huge amount of damage there going on to Faceless. Frantic to morph up. It is going to be Ice trying to make his way back out. A trade apiece right now. Remnant on forward. Jab sidesteps it, and Ana's going to have to step off. 1-1 split apiece here. Not done yet. Big stun onto Ana and the rocket, but he's already far deep. You do not want to commit.
Space for XY. But yeah, unfortunate direct clash there from Faceless. They were just like, oh my god, we're on top of a Slardar Crystal Maiden. So see him getting the ulti off, but decent exchange, 1-for-1.
And now OG taking their business. You said about the bottom tier 1, but it looks like they're going to take for the top tier 1 here. Jump in for Ice, catching him right away. Good lead in from S4, and it's going to be No-Tail who picks up the last hit. Big one for him, and they're going to have a +1 potentially on this tier 1. Does not look like Faceless are even going to bother. Instead, possibly pinging out Ana in the mid lane. Nuts is going to walk in. Can he get the lift? Yes, he can. Lift, pull back, but doesn't look like Jabs is going to be able to get off too much firepower. Ana should be able to walk away. And as mentioned, OG will clean out that tier 1.
At least, yeah, just one of the tier 1s at least. I thought they might go for the bottom one, but it seemed like it was kind of just a convenience move after what happened. They used the Shrine and just kind of made that quick rotation up there.
So we'll take a very early peek here at the net worth, and no surprise with that tower takedown in that recent skirmish. It is going to be OG just slightly leading ahead on this one.
Yeah.
And for a lineup that, most would make the argument will scale better into the late game, that is going to be very nice for him. Hook mid lane, and see you later. On is gone just like that.
Very scary.
The rocket, but a little low on life here.
Yeah, XY, after the move they made top, he kind of thought that they were going to instantly rotate to the Shrine. And, oh my god, he gets the hook on Ana mid.
I knew he was in that pocket spot, but I wasn't for sure if he was even going to make the hook swing, and he does. Black, beautiful connection right there, takes down the Ember.
I did not expect him to actually be able to land that one.
Yeah.
I thought that he would be aware that the Pudge was still in the
I don't think
location.
Ana expected he was going to land that one either.
Yeah, I mean.
That was crazy. Good grab by them.
Wow.
OG on to the next objective, though, as they begin to migrate down here to the bottom lane, where XY had been doing his business, but he might have to take that business elsewhere.
Yeah, they put 2 aggressive wards now from OG to watch the movements coming down.
Isis heading down there. Solo for now. Got a lot of life though. 1600 leads in with the stun onto S4, just kind of tickling him a
They
bit.
got the Shadow Blade on Slark. Looks like they want to be going for this defensive play. Everybody's rotating down.
Jumping
S4
in.
getting initiated on.
There's the pounce.
Another long stun on him. He should be able to be brought down easily, and this is where OG just needs to part. Everybody needs to get the hell out of there.
Yep, he's got more mana for more stuns too. Swinging a miss on the hook on that one. Ana looking to make his escape. There goes another stun though. Connection on for him. Jerix is going to try to slow down Ice, but there's the waveform forward. Ana finally going to be able to try to make it away, but it might be too late, and it is. XY gets that grab. He's now on a killing spree on his Slark. Ana, another takedown. 2 and 5 start for him. It's a tough one.
It is a very tough one. He's just getting caught by pretty much every single spell, not having his defensive remnants on. Ice going for the deep play. They do have the hook coming up. Ice gets
Boom!
it, and he gets it. Oh,
Nice connection here, and that might be the beginning of what we're going to be seeing a lot of here, Fog. The setup with the stun, the hook for the follow-up. OG cannot risk being out of position at all moving forward.
Yeah, Ice going back for the Midas now, since he's had just such a successive play in the last couple minutes. Just deciding to go for that full late game so he can have higher levels of the replicate, so he can always just have copies of the anti-mage that'll be very strong, since No-Tail is still the most farmed hero by quite a large margin. Gianna is having such a rough time. I don't think I've ever seen him have this unfortunate of a game. Already below the Morphling and the Pudge from the side of Faceless and Net Worth. Bottom lane, XY being in a very position, and he should be able to be brought down here quite easily from the rotation of No-Tail.
They will get the finish there. Done from Jerix to catch him out as he tries to make the escape, and No-Tail will show up to take the last hit. And
Black is just on the prowl too. As soon as Ana showed in the top lane, but just TP's top to try to put the pressure on him. But now this should net OG a tower in the bottom lane quite easily.
Yep. Black again going for the Midas buildup, it looks like, for that scaling potential. As we know, can bring in that ridiculous amount of life and strength and really be the tonk for the team. That is another tower for OG. More money in the pocket for your AM.
He's looking for Ana.
Yes, he is.
On the prowl. Doesn't have a ward. He does have a smoke as an inventory though.
Not going to find a immediate connection there. And I thought I was going to see the Aether Lens onto Ice, but it looks like he changes his mind and he will go for a Midas instead. Okay.
And double Midas is coming out so they can scale much harder. Like I mentioned, getting higher levels in Replicate, higher levels in Morph early on is pretty important.
Fly in the nearby jungle here, trying to go for a D ward, but Black shows up and Fly says, I'm good.
Like if the crazy thing is too is that we were looking at OG and we were saying that they probably have the a bit better late game, but versus a Slark, Tinker, and double Midas is coming out.
That's true.
Looking at the talents for Morphling, he gets the 15% or the 12% cooldown reduction, so his stun will always be up, and his level 25 one is ridiculous, 30% replicate damage.
Wow. Imagine getting that on the AM or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That is going to be nice. That is if we get that 25 mark, but hey, you got a game with an AM and a Tinker, it may happen.
Yep, they're built. Yeah, they went for the double Midas, so definitely a possibility.
Farming continues here as Faceless will fend off a heavy-handed push there coming in from the top part of the map.
They spot No-Tail. They do have a ward on that high ground near the bottom tier 1. They see his movements coming out. I saw Midas being brought out, so it is Ice's Midas finished up already. 18 minutes, pretty decent timing for an offlane Morphling, if I say so myself.
Yeah, Ice and Black, you put them together. I mean, that's like infinite lockdown too.
Yeah.
If they catch No-Tail doing one of these side pushes, he's going to have to be careful. I mean, does No-Tail need to consider building up something defensive to help against all that pressure? Lincoln's.
The Aghanims, I think, like
you
mentioned.
Of course, the Aghanims, yeah.
I think it's a definite possibility in this game.
Oh, for sure.
And his farm is very good too. He's got the Battle Fury Dominator Yasha Treads already finished up at the 19-minute mark, so No-Tail having almost 10 CS a minute, being very ahead of the game.
Yeah,
almost 3,000 over the next person.
But, Jazz will continue to do his thing, jumping from lane to lane, taking advantage of all the OG pushes here.
Yeah, you can tell they don't really want to make an aggressive play on the side of Faceless right now. Black is literally running around just dismembering creeps to finish up his Midas at a decent time. Here we go. As I say that though, XY. Tower mid gets denied up. He wanted to be going for a play. S4 gets hit.
Yeah, he's locking down Ana, and then they make the waveform jump onto S4. Can't quite get the finish, but the rocket's coming from above. S4 barely able to escape and make it away. OG rotating in either as his side. No one will go down from this trade.
shrine usage coming out from OG. Looks like they want to keep the fighting stance going. S4 actually building for an armlet as well, so like we kind of said, he wants to just be able to fight, and I think it's appropriate in this game too, just because of how hard Ana was shut down. He needs to go for some type of scaling potential, like a Midas or for like the armlet, like he is going.
Yeah, Ana's still trying to find his own little pocket to farm in. I mean, you already have the greedy AM on your team, so he just needs to find his way. And anywhere that's away from where No-Tail is. But Jab's grinding his way out there. Black's still rotating over. He's got his Midas online now, but we're seeing an advancement here from OG pretty deep. Not going to find anyone, though.
Yeah. Get a very offensive ward up. Watch the movements coming out.
And it looks like they'll be fine here. So OG kind of take reign in the top lane for now. Faceless still not really taking it to the fight. Happy to kind of continue farming up. They have XY bringing in the farm here in the bottom lane. Still even trails behind his own Jab, so Shadowblade picked up, but not yet looking to get some blood on it. Serious
blood. Ana. Careful. He does have a defensive remnant down. And S4 is in the position to try to go for a turn.
Got him!
With the hook. Gets the dismember off.
And he looks quick and fast. S4 wants to go in to help out, but that's by the time he gets there, it's just too late. Another takedown of Ana.
Multiple rotations coming out from OG, but the damage is done already. Ana, again, Black landing hook after hook. This time, again, without any setup.
Seriously putting the Ember Spirit in a hurt locker right now. More money in the pocket, more flesh strength to come for Black. And now with that ward up on the high ground, they feel pretty comfortable moving in. Paying out exactly where No-Tail's farming, but they're not looking to make their move that way. I mean, without the assisted lockdown from Ice, it might be a bit too difficult. They will be able to get the finish on that bottom tier 1.
Important towers always opens up the access point for Tinker to farm. Easier to get deeper wards down as well to watch the movements from the anti-mage. So all these tier 1s for Faceless are very important in this game. But No-Tail still just farming completely on his way toward the... Pretty much has the Manta style now. He does, if he wants to purchase it.
Yeah, no.
So he's pretty much a critical mass period.
If he was...
The replicate, here we go.
Yeah. Ouch, ouch, ouch. If he was to consider going for the Agnums, I mean, I haven't been able to cast too many Agnums, anti-mages kind of game. Like, when does that come into play? Like, you're saying he's going to be a critical mass soon, but if he was to get an Agnums, like, when do you squeeze that in, or is it seeming like he might not even go for it at all?
He might not go for it at all. The BKB is the safest one, but Agnums is kind of like a little bit of a greedier type of response, so you get the stats bonus from it too, and I haven't really gotten to see it in competitive either, so kind of hard to say.
I mean, who knows? Maybe it's something No-Tail might not have thought of. I'm not too sure, but yeah, what they have thought of is going for Roche. So
yeah,
seems like an easy opening, and yeah, with that amp damage, it's really made a paper at this point. Be able to easily take it down, and that's going to be an Aegis in the pocket. Your No-Tail AM. What are they looking to do with this? Is it tier 2 time? Is it just stalling things out so they can continue to farm up and avoid the advancement of Faceless and the pressure of Faceless?
You can probably go for the tier 1 mid, but they do need to still be careful. Here we go, Ana with the commitment.
Trying to jump into the Rubik, but he did just steal that blink. Oh, Black creeps forward.
Nice went for the blink, by the way, on the Morphling, so instead of going for like Aether Lens or Yules, he has that further distance setup and more survivability.
We'd seen in the past with the old time of when we saw support Ling in his prime, people would very frequently go for that blink dagger, as it almost worked as a anti-BKB, because if you just got in their face and got the stun off, they really had no chance to react. I don't know if that's going to be the case this time, but now he has that gap closing and a way to disengage and re-engage with a blink and a waveform.
Here we go, smoke for smoke.
Oh, gets popped out. His XY walks right on down past everyone, going right for Fly, while Jarex gets snagged, pulled, kidnapped right into the team of Faceless. Jump on forward, No-Tail splits apart, looks to go for Ice, finally able to bring him down, but it is going to be OG reining their heads up high. It's going to be a 3-for-2 trade, and they're on pursuit for more. XY, though, already out the back door.
Oh, yeah. No-Tail puts the Aghanims into his quick buy.
He's got it.
He is thinking about it.
All right.
That's good.
Now they can move in for a tier 2.
Yeah, nice little opportunity smoke there coming out for them, running directly into Faceless, so Jabs gets caught off guard by it, it seems.
Yeah, they were totally split apart, looking for different targets. One to jump on the backliner for Fly, another getting a hook connection onto Jarex, pulling him in. It was definitely a hot mess, but it seemed like OG were a bit more in tune and were able to get the focus done.
This massive anti-mage is a problem.
Yeah, he's gross. Way above Everyone else sitting at a high peak in terms of net worth. Pressure towards potentially this top lane. We have a setup from Black as he gets the hook pull back, looking to go for Ana once again. A jump in does come out from S4, and it's going to turn right back on his face. He will be taken down. XY trying to make it back away, has to go into the Shadow Dance. Runs out. Fly, though, stalking him a bit. Goes for the Frostbite. He will be able to pounce out. Are they going to continue to chase here? They will not be able to get the catch. Very scary, though, for him, and it is going to be a takedown of Black. One of the first times we've seen him be able to get that hook on Ana, and this time he'll be the one to drop.
Too close to a tier 1. OG just quick to respond. S4 was already pretty much in position to go for that one. Here we go.
OG.
Next tier 2. OG.
Coming down from up above here. Jab steps in, needs to start getting those marches out. And the second that they show themselves, OG are already looking to make their move onto the mid lane, where the tier 1 still stands, so free money.
Yeah, Noto with this Aegis can play so much more aggressively. He's got the Aghanims finished up at base, and he's bringing it out. Here we go.
I have never seen this firsthand.
It looks like Jabs is also going for first item Hex, so if he hexes it, it just reflects the Hex back behind him, and it's a doozy.
What is the cooldown of it as well? Like, how often is he able to reflect it back?
I believe it's between 10 and 15 seconds, I think. I've only seen it like once or twice. Never in a competitive game.
I'm excited, man.
We'll find out.
We'll see if Faceless are gonna really
12 seconds, okay.
be in tune to it.
Figured it was between 10 and 15, so
12. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. Imagine even that long stun, just kind of putting Ice right back in his place, not even able to participate in the fight.
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
Ice goes for the adaptive strike, just stuns himself, can actually just get bursted down right away after that too. So this will definitely be an interesting pickup. We'll see how the interaction ends up working out for him. Level 20 already on this AM. Even goes for the 10 stats instead of the 15 evasion, because he's just dealing with really burst potential instead of standing toe-to-toe versus an AD carry.
What's the typical level 25 talent grab on your AM? Is it the blink cooldown or the boost in agility?
Probably the agility.
Yeah, it seems pretty nice. And especially in a game like this when you're at the forefront of taking the advancement to your opponent, maybe just going with the agility and the damages.
5-second cooldown on blink is already low enough, in my opinion.
OG coming at this top lane once again here. And we're going to be seeing Faceless put back on the defensive, where for the most part of this game, they've been trying to move in. Black not going to be able to get a connection there and to step back. But OG are here now, and they're here for a tier 2.
Hopefully we see the XY go for, I think, a Silver Edge. I believe the Silver Edge disables the Aghanims from the anti-mage, since it disables passive, so Spell Shield will not be there, so Spell Shield can't passively block or reflect anything, so I'd like to see him go for that one. Just to kind of, deal with that Aghanim Scepter.
Sounds like it should work.
Yeah.
But has Ice Frog thought of that?
I mean, it disables Spell Shield, and this says causes Spell Shield to passively block and reflect, so I would imagine so, yeah. It should disable the Aghanim to reflect the possibility if he gets a Silver Edge.
Fair enough here.
We'll see if he does, though. He looks like he's going for that safe BKB, so he can actually be a team fighting presence on the Slark.
Looked like maybe Faceless wanted to go for a smoke here with one in the backpack of Black. It doesn't look like they're going to be pulling it out. OG have already begun kind of their 5-man movements now. So gone with the days of just catching a solo Ana on the sidelines.
Yeah. Aegis ticks out, does pick up a Bastion now on no-tail, so he's able to lock down a hero much easier with that Manta style. Go for those quick pickoffs.
Oh, quick jump. Just trying to get that quick grab on the fly. It will be successful. Jarix could be next, but now they're going to infiltrate, jump forward. Stun comes out on S4 while they'll get the follow-up grab for Jarix. Both supports will go down from OG. OG will just have to take that one and walk away.
Yeah, Faceless seems to not want to go for another one. They're happy with just getting that little 1-2 grab.
Feels like it's been a while since Faceless were able to kind of get a couple of kills under their belt, as it's been pretty much the OG show here for at least the past 5 minutes or so. And Jabs now, after completing out the Sheepstick, going to go for the Aether Lens build up next. And then considering maybe moving forward into the Aghanims. We'll have to see.
We will have to see, indeed.
But yeah, look at No-Tail, man. He's getting to that point. It looks like the Vanguard Abyssal build-up is next, but
they got eyes on No-Tail. He blinks him forward.
Yes, he does. They're trying to get a hold. They think they have a jump on Black, but that is a replicate. Any bait out there by Faceless.
Yeah, Rubik tries to actually steal the blink, and it gets flected.
Oh,
here we go.
The jump in. Looking to go for a grab here onto the anti-mage. He's hexed up. He's locked down. Reflects back to him.
There we go.
Right onto the Tinker, and it's almost as if nothing was done.
Already coming into play, this new Aghanim reflects and hexes the Tinker. Definitely not expecting that one.
Well, now he'll know and have to kind of scratch his head and think about what's going to be the next bet here. Someone's going to have to try to trigger that first and foremost. And Rubik's Fade Bolt could help.
Yeah, Fade Bolt, Steel.
Yeah.
They've got a couple different things to be able to do so. Aether Lens now finished for the Morphling. Going for that Aghanim's next, so he has even stronger potential of getting those anti-mages.
Uh-oh.
Whoop. Blink by Black.
But starting to look like OG don't have safe places to farm right now. OG are holding on to their advantage and looking to utilize it by just taking most of the real estate on this map and leaving just breadcrumbs of farm for Faceless to even work with.
Yeah, it's mostly no-tail farming. Ember Spirit is falling behind the Slaughter, and mid lane he gets a bash, couple hits on nuts, does get
Long hook.
That's disable.
It was already reflected, so he's locked in his place, but
just gets the blink off. Ice says with a very aggressive blink and locked down and burst it instantly.
Blasted apart. Faceless will not pursue any further. X-Wise floating around here. There's the Hex out, a jump in from behind. A nice hook pulls him back inside where it's safe, but they have one of their friends left out on the outside. And that jump on 4 from S4 is going to be able to get the clean finish. 4 going down here. 1 more remain. And it's going to be XY forced to pop his BKB and get the hell back. But devastating fight for Faceless. OG really on the up. And this bottom lane is already advancing forward, Fogged. They could just be moving in for tier 3, maybe even Rax.
Yeah, do we have any buybacks? Nope, not on Tinker, not on Morphling. Pudge has a buyback and Rubik has a buyback, so they can at least try to stop, but this is looking a bit scary now for Faceless. Just no-tail is just way too much to deal with for them. Very aggressive blinking coming from Ice as well, just causing kind of all this to happen in sequence.
And now the BKB is going to be down. I don't think a BKB-less Slark and even a Pudge is going to be enough to really stop OG on this one. So they'll be able to kind of get right back in it. Might have a reconnection, but it looks like we will have a little bit of pause on this one.
Jarax even builds up a Dominator for his team too. Since No-Tail is probably going to have to replace his in a quite moment of time, Jarax gets it up for the auras and it's just for having those creeps. Looks like they still want to go in. They want to chase XY. The buyback's coming out for Black. S4 commits in. Will he get hooked?
And he does. Yes, he will. Wrapped, pulled back, toggles out the armlet, but OG come right to his side to assist, and they will be able to get that kill.
And that's dieback. Now
it is.
Go for the high ground, go for this Rax, which should drop pretty easily without the Tinker being up. They even have the range, the double dominated creeps to scout out information deeper in the base. When your creeps turn against you.
Tier 3 down, OG will take that.
Okay.
And not look to go for anything more.
Don't want to be too greedy with their advantage that they just got here. Gonna go back up and probably check out if the Roshan's up, which it is. Jarax looks like he's gonna be the sacrificial lamb here.
Yeah, he got stunned in that spot. Tries to go for a TP, but another stun's there waiting for him, and he'll be the man left behind. It will be XY who picks up the last hit on that. He's still dominating in this game, but team's not dominating, I'll tell you what.
Even though they have a kill advantage, it's just they don't have enough to deal with this uber farmed anti-mage.
Yeah, he actually just picked up that Abyssal Blade now too.
S4 as well has been having beautiful crushes every single time, getting 2 or 3 heroes, or just getting like the perfect setup onto like Ice. So S4's positioning has been
to help with that even further. It looks like he has slated a Shadow Blade too.
Yeah,
even more of an element of surprise.
Oh, there's a little creep here. Jabs runs into it. He's trying to walk into the wave out. These little creeps, it's actually so funny. They're just like...
It's like little scouters right now.
It's just great because they move so fast, so the way that they stand with their sword looks great.
Onward!
Exactly what I think. All right, here we go. S4, Invis.
Nice crush connection. It looks like it was just on the cusp of it, but they'll get it. No-Tail will step in and help him with the finish. No chance to morph or anything. And that's Ice on the sidelines without a buyback for nearly a minute.
S4 with the plays.
I don't even think he would have been able to do anything about it if he got it, but Black will attend to the push coming in. This is not looking good for Faceless as this continues to advance. goal is only getting that much more significant in favor of OG as time does go on, but at least pick up a tier 2, it looks like in the bottom lane for Faceless. Jab's also waiting on the side, but OG continue their advancement now down the mid lane. The mighty No Tail will be there to kind of shred apart this tier 2, as he has a 26k net worth advantage. That is over 10k more than the next highest, which is of course his XY.
Yeah, and he can still replace a couple items, replace the Dominator, eat the Moon Shard, get his Boots of Travel online, eventually probably get rid of the Battle Fury, not anytime soon, but he still has potential for growth.
Uh-oh, poor little lady. Fly trying to make it away. Oh, gets hit with the stun. XY steps in, but
Team is in the area, so they will get the Crystal
he
Maiden.
commits a BKB to get the finish, but look at S4 just smack him in the back right there, and he is almost dead. Has to go into the Shadow Dance and make it away, but Ana looking to go for the pursuit. Nuts looking to step in, but he has stepped into his own death, and Jax has as well. One by one they go to help out, but one by one they fall.
Playing Tinker versus the Slardar Anti-Mage Ember Spirit is just way too difficult. Too many different things to catch him, and he's not able to ever get his blink off or do anything. And now OG going for the high ground break again. Hook, blink away.
No Tail almost thought about making his move onto Black. That's going to be the buyback forced out now from the Tinker. And OG will just take that one and walk back out. They are playing this one smooth and slow, knowing that it's just the best of one. There's no reason to get too far ahead of yourself, even though they are pretty far ahead.
Yeah.
Step back, go for the Roche, get the easy agents and extra life, and then you can make your move. Really no reason not to, and plus S4 will be able to finish out his Shadow Blade if you'd like.
He's got it finished. It'd be very helpful to help him get even more pickoffs. He actually, okay, so I think he just used that. He swapped out his Aghanim just to use the Dominator. Okay, I was like, whoa, using Dominator instead of Ags? Okay, so yeah, he puts the Ags back in, and now he's level 25. And he goes for the nice blink cooldown instead of the agility. Already feels like he's doing enough damage and just wants that extra survivability with the 3-second cooldown on it.
Plus, you know, blinking more across the map, moving faster, getting that farm
more
faster.
mobility.
And look at him, just all over the place. He's just going for like record net worth this tournament, I guess. And we can't help but wonder, well, what's the backup plan here if you're Faceless at this point? I mean, if they were to really push this in the later part of the game, you know, maybe a Morphling and a Replicate with a level 25 talent.
Not for
an
a long
Scepter.
time, though. Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot to build up, and it's time that Faceless do not look like they are going to get.
Problem is that it's the Slark kind of versus the world. Like Jab did go for the Hex, and he had a great early game, but ever since that, it's completely halted. Just unable to really do anything with the items he has. Since the Hex gets reflected, there's so many different ways to kind of catch him. S4's positioning has been fantastic. Ana, top lane, looks like they're trying to go for the play here on him. They do get the 4.25 second disable, but nope, not enough to bring him down.
Without anything being done there, OG consider just keeping their push here in the mid lane if they'd like. I mean, No Tail continues to siege on. Tier 3 already down. Rax is now exposed, and they can do some serious amount of base damage here. Black continues to try to get the hooks, but these are not hooks leading to kills. Rax still stands. OG reposition, step back, recuperate a bit. Hook, nope. Y in and right back out. They pull No Tail forward, but no damage really being done here. Lip going to be forced out, jumping Abyssal, looking to go for the finish. They get the burst, they get the kill. That's XY out. 80 seconds, no buyback. Frantic now, Faceless, left with little to no options of defense. They lose their mid lane Rax. OG looking to get that revenge, get right back into the grand final against EG here. Forcing back Faceless, going to the next set of Rax, and it looks like that may be the story before us. Another long hook on the No Tail, a locking stun, Rockets spamming everything they can, but he's just too damn big.
Too much on the side of OG.
Way too much.
The Anti-Mage last pick just showing how powerful it really can be versus this type of lineup. Hits his timing so much faster than anybody else. And again, Jabs gets brought down. S4 finding him.
Instantly blasted apart there. 2 Raxes down. Faceless backs against the wall.
It's just over.
It just may be over on this one. I mean, they still don't even have XY for about 30 seconds here. They're trying their best though. There's the stun. Oh, Crush comes in though from S4 before Black can even set up a follow-up hook. Remnant on in, X. And that's going to be Ice out of this one. Full minute, no buyback. And it's looking pretty good for the green team. This is Mega's underway.
Ana is probably very thankful that he has this anti-mage on his team.
Certainly feels like it. He had a really tough start. This game was looking fantastic for Faceless at the beginning, but farming and farming. No Tail builds up, bulks up, and becomes the one true king of this one. And they're going right for the jugular now. Faceless probably know that this one's as good as over, but they're going to not look to tap out just yet.
Good recognition by OG, just recognizing that. Oop, there we go. Going in again.
He just got back.
He just respawned and he's dead.
That's got to be it. Vital to be thrown in. Faceless will just give it everything they can. It was a long, good run from Faceless, going further than most would expect, but the road ends here, and it's going to be a rematch of OG versus EG in the grand final.
Yeah, they left the anti-mage alone for quite a while. They didn't really put too much emphasis on helping